You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftatacademy.com. www.netsoftatacademy.com.
Hello everyone. In this video, I will focus on session host, the actual virtual machine that delivers desktop and application to your end users in AVD environment. I'll also cover how to create one, how to manage the session host, and scale these hosts for the best performance use case. So let's get started. So we already know a little bit about session host. Well, session hosts are the actual virtual machine running Windows that users connect to when accessing their virtual desktop or remote application through AVD. Now, these VMs can be deployed on Azure, AWS, or on-prem. It doesn't matter. The VM can be deployed at any place, in any platform, but the AVD must have line of sight to all those VMs or virtual machines. Now, session host actually handles user sessions and deliver desktop experience to the end user. When you create a session host, you will go through multiple options which you can tweak and change. Out of all the options, there is the most critical one, that is your image selection. Here, you can choose from several VM image options. That is image gallery, or you can say Microsoft Gallery Image, where you go to Microsoft's pre-built image, which is optimized for AVD. So there is no way that these images will have hidden malware or viruses. No, it's actually maintained by Microsoft. Then, what if you want a custom image? Well, yes, you can also push a custom image. Here, you create your own golden image, or you can say custom image, and push it to all the session host machines. Or the last option is the shared image gallery. This is for managing and distributing images all at scale. So here, you can have multiple versions of the image. Let's say for one department, you want to create multiple versions of image with multiple applications baked into it. Or maybe you want to save multiple versions of the image for multiple departments. In this case, you want to keep it all nicely arranged, and for that, you can create a gallery. Gallery is just a logical group of all your images. All right, so now you know how to select an image and deploy a VM, that is your session host. Well, how about your cost and performance balance? Well, to optimize the cost versus performance, you can use autoscaling. Although AVD offers a method of manual scaling where you can add and remove hosts manually. Yes, it can be done, let's say for a small environment or maybe for your sandbox environment. But for actual production environment, you should use auto-scaling plans. Here, AVD allows you to automatically add or remove session hosts based on user demand or schedule. And at the same place, you will also use the AVD's most important back-end operation, that is load balancing. You will not configure load balancing in AVD. This task is done by AVD itself, so it is managed by the vendor side, that is Microsoft. But it is there. Here, the load balancing ensures that user sessions are distributed efficiently across all the scaled hosts. Let's say you scaled up to 50 machines. Here, the load balancing will take care of spreading the load over all those 50 machines. You don't have to worry about it. All right, so now you know what session hosts are, and you also know about scaling so that you can have multiple session hosts in your environment. Well, next important point is to understand that all these session hosts are still running Windows operating system, whether it is Windows 10 or 11. And just like your laptop, which needs regular updates to make sure that your laptop stays secure, it covers up all the patches, and all the vulnerabilities are gone, right? You update it regularly. Just like that, the session host, which you are using in your AVD environment, also need regular maintenance. Regular maintenance to do what? To stay secure and have high performance. And for that, you have to figure out a method with which you will patch and update operating system and also update the applications running on those computers. You also need to understand the re-image host and how to do it. If needed, let's say there are some machines which are corrupted or not working properly, you must be able to re-image those computers as fast as possible. And for this, you can also create a maintenance window to avoid disruption for your users. And at this point, a very important feature comes in, that is drain mode. Well, imagine that you have 10 machines, and all 10 machines have multiple sessions running. Now you want to work on one machine out of 10. You cannot just start working on that machine or shut it down. Why? Because maybe some users have active session on that particular machine. In this case, you will turn on the drain mode. The drain mode simply waits for the users to log out, and it will not allow anyone to log back in. So once all the users finish their task and they sign out and they're out of the session, no new sessions will be granted on that particular machine. And eventually you will see that that machine has 0 sessions on it. What can you do now? Well, you can work on that machine without disturbing anyone.
All right, so now in this video, we will create session host in both our host pools. So let's go back to our AVD and click on host pool. Let's start with the personal one. So click on it. And then under manage, you will see an option called session host. Click on it and click on add. You cannot change anything over here because all this is picked from your host pool, which is already deployed. So click on next, and this is where you will deploy your machine. Basically, AVD is not deploying a machine. You just fill up this template, and then AVD gives this template to Azure Virtual Machine, and it deploys your computer. So let's go. Resource group will be demo. Name will be PER personal VM. Now, please don't put any numbers, because if you deploy 100 machines like this, AVD will itself put a number in front of it, like 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So what are you trying to create? Well, I'm trying to create an Azure Virtual Machine. It is also possible to create Azure Local Virtual Machine if you are using HCI, that is Hyperconverged Infrastructure Environment. That is advanced at this level. Virtual machine location, Canada Central. Availability, I don't need it for demo purposes. We don't need high availability. But in production, fault tolerance is very important, so you need it. Now, security type, standard is fine. Image, this is very important. This is where you will select the operating system you want to install. This is single session, so we will install a simple operating system on it. Now, select your size. If you click on change size, you will get the option to select any size available which suits your scenario. In my case, 2 CPU, 8 GB RAM is more than enough for this demo. How many VMs you want to deploy? Only 1. So you select that. Otherwise, if you say 10, it will deploy 10 machines. Operating system disk, standard SSD is fine. Disk space is also okay. I don't need boot diagnostics for this demo. And that's it for your VM part. Now, if you scroll down, you will see your network security part. Here you will select a network and a subnet where this machine will be registered, or the network card will get its IP address from. Network security group, basic is fine. Public inbound port, no need for public IPs at all. Now, this is very critical. I told you that there are 3 options: your on-prem Active Directory, Entra ID, or Entra ID domain services. Do you see 3 options? Yes, there are 3 options here. You will select this option if you want this machine to connect a register to Entra ID. Otherwise, for on-prem AD or for Entra domain services, both, you will select Active Directory. So this is old school, this is new. In our case, we are selecting Entra ID. And if you also have your Intune environment for machine management, you can also enroll them directly. We don't have Intune, so I will say no. This is where you will provide the local admin credential for the machine. Nothing to do with Entra ID. NITAADMIN. Okay, and that's it. Now you click Next, Next, review it, and create. Now, this machine will take longer to create. When you create your machine individually, if it takes, let's say, 5 minutes, this will take like 15 minutes. Oh, validation failed. Maybe I exceeded the quota limit. Yeah, in my case, I have limited quota, so I will reduce my core count, I will reduce my RAM. But remember, if you have enterprise subscription, then you don't have to worry about quota. Or if you have pay-as-you-go, again, Microsoft will be happy to give you more quota. So let me reduce my quota and then deploy this machine. So I initialized the deployment. Remember, I only have 1 core and 4 GB RAM, so the machine will be very slow, but it is okay for the demo purpose. And now when the deployment starts, I want to show you something. Again, there is an error. Even this size is not available for me. So let me select maybe a Delta series. All right, so I redeployed it. Now, what I want to show you, when you deploy your environment, if you click on VM creation link, here it will show you all the steps. So my NSG is created, my network card is created right now, my VM is being deployed. Once this is done, the next step is that AVD will run a script on this VM to register it with your host pool. And then after that, it will also join this machine to the domain, that is your Entra ID. Once all the steps are done properly without any errors, only then the machine will be considered healthy and it will show up in your AVD host pool. So let's wait for this to deploy. In the meantime, we can also deploy our pooled machine. So let's go to our pool host pool, same session host, add. Now there will be only one difference, that is the image. So I will call it pool VM. No availability required, standard is fine, image. As you can see now, it is multi-session image. So this image is separate. This is different from Windows 11 single session or Windows 10 single session. Yes, we also have Windows 11 multi-session too. And for that, you can go to see all images and then find Windows 11 there. Here. These are normal Windows 11 images, which is single session. Then you have multi-session as well. But I'm not selecting that because in my quota, I can only use Windows 10 at the point. And one more point. AVD also bake in your M365 apps with your image. So you can also select that. I will select it. Then I will select the size. I will choose this one. Not that fast, but it will do the job. One machine. Standard SSD. Boot diagnostic not required. Virtual network will be the same one. So both machines are in the same place. Entra ID and NITAADMIN. The username and password can be your choice. It is just the local admin of your machine. And then click tags, next, let it validate and create. So I pushed the deployment for both session hosts. Let's go back and check the progress. Yeah, it is still under progress. It can take 15-20 minutes, so give it some time. All right, as you can see, the virtual machine is ready. Now it is registering it with your host pool. So what AVD do is it just runs an extension, a script on your machine to register it with your host pool. So at this step, if you go back to AVD and you go to host pool, and once that step is done, you will see that there is one machine here. It will show you the registered machine. Same for this one. So let's wait for maybe 10 more minutes and we'll come back. Now if we go back to our host pool, and you will see the machine there, but it says can't connect. Don't worry, the whole process is not finished. It simply is telling you that the domain join check failed. The machine is not domain joined. Of course, because the machine are still under deployment. So it's been 17 minutes. And once this part is done, then the domain join step will actually finish. So it takes time. So wait for this whole deployment to finish, only then check your host pool, and it should be green. Here, can connect. All right, so first machine is deployed, the second machine will still take time. So let's check out the first machine, that is the personal machine. So if we go back to our host pool, then go to personal host pool, yeah, the machine is here. It's still saying unavailable. Well, it just got deployed. So before redeploying my whole environment or deleting something, I will still give it at least 4 or 5 minutes. Because there's an agent in this machine, that agent will revert back to AVD, and then AVD will update the information here. All right, so for me, it took quite a bit of time, 30 minutes. And eventually you will see that it will say can connect. It simply means that all health check passed and everything looks good. And same for the next machine. Again, it's saying can connect, but I will give this machine a little bit more time. All right, so some basic tips to take care of your machine. So even if it is showing up here as a session host, well, at the back end, it is basically a virtual machine. So if you go to your virtual machine, from here, you can do maintenance for this machine. All right, so you can monitor this machine. So you will get the insight of the performance and matrix. Then you can also look at the logs. Then if you go to operation, well, here you can configure auto shutdown. And this is in fact very important. Let's say your employees work from 8 to 5. Then you don't want this machine to run overnight. So you can just schedule a shutdown. If you want to run a command or script to change some configuration, you can do that. If you want to apply a policy on top of it, and a lot more. Plus, you can also back up this machine. If something goes wrong with your session host, you can always restore a stable state of your machine. Then you can secure this environment with Defender for Cloud. You can also change the performance of this machine by changing the size. Here you can add additional disk if you want. You can install extensions. You can also configure your operating system. Configure means you cannot change it, but you can at least apply for the license. You can look at the information, which operating system you're using. We are not using proximity group, so we will not touch it. What else? And you can look at the properties of this machine. Private IP address is here. If you go to networking, again, you can look at the network card it is using and the information related to it. And also if you go to operations, well, you can also manage the updates. So the selected VM image is currently not supported for patch management because it is Windows 10. It's already old. but you can still check for updates from here. If it is Windows 11, then this error will not be there. And that's it. Your session hosts are now ready in your AVD environment.
That's it for this episode for managing session host. Next, we will dive into assigning users and managing their access to your AVD environment. If this video helped you, then don't forget to like and subscribe this channel and ask questions in the comment section if you have any. I will be happy to help you. Take care.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftatacademy.com. www.netsoftatacademy.com.